My very dear friends and colleagues, wherever you are in the world, sitting in your homes or in the hospital, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you a new series for skills building, science, learning, and training. Not only by telling, not only by showing videos, not only by repeating literature, but by bringing the state-of-art statements, opinion of the world-renowned scientist, surgeon in the world. It will be like a short capsule, not boring, not long, not full of graphs and tables and references, but the opinion of the expert. You will hear them, and then you will see the surgery and the techniques. I hope that my continuous effort to provide each and every details to everyone in the world to build up more and more knowledge, more and more skills. But let's keep it in mind that the most important than science, the stronger than knowledge, is pure friendship, peace, and love. This is Osama Shauki from Cairo, Egypt.
Osama, thank you for asking my opinion about adenomyosis. It will be my 5 cents, what I think, and not evidence-based medicine data. First, we know that the endometrium is very aggressive. We know this for abdominal pregnancies, very difficult surgery. We know that the cells of endometriosis are very mobile, and that all women with endometriosis have endometriosis cells in the endometrium. Second, we know that the basal layer of the endometrium is something special. It's a rhizosome with extensions into the myometrium, rhizosomes which are clonal, and this is the reason why all the glands of the endometrium are clonal. Third, you know that I think that endometriosis is a genetic, epigenetic disease. And for adenomyosis, I think that this is exactly the same. Finally, it's unclear what the function of the junctional zone is. Very important during pregnancy, but in normal physiology, the junctional zone is probably something which functions together with the basal layer. So my opinion for adenomyosis, there are 3 types. You have first adenomyosis, which you find in the junctional zone, and this is a small cyst, and this is something which is a hysteroscopic challenge. Second, you have the diffuse adenomyosis, and finally you have the focal adenomyosis, which can be cystic. So I think we have to consider adenomyosis as 3 different diseases. And the last comment I would give for the Congress to discuss, personally I think that the future of medical therapy of adenomyosis will be vaginal therapy because of the direct link between the upper vagina and the uterine myometrium with almost 100 times higher concentration, and this direct effect does make me think that vaginal therapy will be the future if you want to give medical therapy. Have a nice day and have a nice meeting. Bye-bye. Enjoy talking to you. Bye, Osama.
My dear Osama, thank you so much for sharing this information. And of course, I am completely in agreement with Philip Konix. But let me add one very easy information concerning the anatomic aspect of the uterus and of the adenomyosis. In the uterus, we don't have the submucous part that we have in all the other organs, such as, for example, the stomach. But this is because the need for the invasion during the pregnancy of the trophoblastic implantation. And obviously, without the submucous liner in the uterus, this is a very strong predisposition to the adenomyosis in the organ, in the uterus. This is a very easy but uncommon information that we give during our congresses. Take care and thank you. Bye, Osama.
My dear friends, let me share with you now a very interesting case of an adenomyosis. And let's share together the ultrasound image before surgery and the hysteroscopic findings during surgery. This is a case of primary infertility with a repeated IVF failure, 3 or 4 times failure of implantation. And as you can obviously see here that there's a hypoechoic cystic structure just beneath the endometrium. It looks like a pregnancy sac, an early pregnancy sac, but actually it's in the myometrium just beneath the endometrial line. And that's obviously from ultrasound, we can say this is a cystic adenomyosis with location just beneath the endometrium. Will this affect implantation or not? There is no robust, strong evidence about that now, but assuming the fact the patient had failed IVF 4 times and there is no other explanation. So I'm sharing with you now an innovative technique by hysteroscopy, and hopefully that will improve the implantation rate. Definitely a subendometrial structure pathology, whether a myoma or adenomyoma, could affect the receptivity of the endometrium. The external os is very narrow. This is a criteria of adenomyotic uterus, and here the cervical canal. And please learn the insertion technique. A little rotation of the telescope, like the wings of an aeroplane, and the glide in guided by the tunnel view. You should have a clue where are you driving through. Don't ever, never go blindly. And enjoy this beautiful view. I like to show it. The red blood corpuscles flowing through into a minute capillaries. This is the vascularity of the endometrium. I can say this is within normal. Sometimes it's exaggerated in case of adenomyosis. This yellow dots in the endometrium is an endometrial glands. I take every opportunity to share and provide technical tips and valuable information. So now this is the fundus of the uterus. And from the ultrasound, I know the location of adenomyoma is just posterior wall. That's it. You can see some bumping or bulging on the posterior wall, looking like as a polyp, like a sessile polyp. So rotate the light cable upside down so you can see the posterior wall. So this is a polypoidal flat sessile tissue on the posterior wall, and this is the landmark telling me here is the adenoma. And if you look carefully, there's like a hole, like an opening on the posterior wall. Let's have more courage and excise this polypoidal tissue on the posterior wall, digging deep enough through the myometrium to reach the hypoechoic cystic structure. Well, in this video, I'm taking hysteroscopy beyond just the uterine cavity. People thought that hysteroscopy to deal with pathology only inside the uterus. But now we are breaking the borders and going into the myometrium. So watch what we will find. I'm now touching this bumping tissues to see is it cystic or is it solid, is it a fibroid, or it is something else. Keep watching and enjoy. After a section of the first piece, I couldn't see the cystic mass. Let's go more deeper and try to find what is beneath deep intramyometrial. It's a little bit awkward to work with this. Oh, wow, that's it. Now you can see a small, another endometrial cavity, a space lined by endometrium. This is lined by endometrium deep into the myometrium. So I'm showing now the deep intramyometrial zone, and there is another endometrial cavity. Actually, there is no chocolate blood. Sometimes we find if it is functional, secreting blood. Okay, now I am going up and down to show you how it is deep subendometrial. It's like example, type 3 submucous fibroid, the same, like type 3, but it is an adenomyoma. So now the plan is to resect all these ectopic endometrial tissues, which is located inside the myometrium, and remove all the This is adenomyotic tissues. Yes, this, when you see this, is not an endometrial polyp, it's an adenomyotic tissues. The differentiation is definitely by histopathology, but with repeated experience, your eyes should differentiate between myometrium, myoma, adenomyoma. So the tissues excised now is the adenomyotic tissues and the deep adenomyoma. And this will leave like a small cavity which will heal and regeneration of the endometrium back again. Well, this is, I can say, this is a preliminary work. I need further number of cases to prove the value of hysteroscopic intervention and the value as regard. Now you can see the deep myometrium exposed. Be careful, don't go more deep than that, otherwise you will perforate. So I'm very glad to share this new technique. My very dear friends, I hope all these ideas I provide will be valuable for you in your work. And again, I do thank very much my dear Philip Carnex from Belgium and Dr. Luigi Nappi from Italy for their generous contribution to spread more and more science and information. This is Osama Shawki from Cairo, Egypt.